the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Today's show is going to be awesome. Been a great week. Been great several weeks here in a row on this program. Among our guests, Matt Vasgersian in an hour. Reaction to MLB Deadline Day. Any bets to be made in the future and what he likes tonight. Chris Bennett. This is going to be great because Matt Vasgersian's on at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. 30 minutes later, we're going to get an odds maker's perspective. Chris Bennett joins the show from right here at Circa. How did he adjust and adapt after yesterday's deadline? Dan Lemmerfeld on the Jets in the AFC East. In 30 minutes, Paulie, you're super stoked. You love betting soccer more than I do. Steve Wisk going to join the program. Full hardcore breakdown, League One, League Two, Premier League, all this stuff.
That's right, and we're underway. We got a match today, League One, Luton Town, and Wimbledon, and he's got some great future picks to go over. So we got League One, League Two tomorrow. Championship starts a week later, and the Premier League right around the corner. Good to be back. Good to talk to the meat man.
Yep. I'd like to say in the National Football League, a lot to get into on the program. And we'll look at the Hall of Fame game a little bit, tonight's Major League Baseball card as well. But I would like to tell you that I cannot believe it's gotten to this point with the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons. For those who don't know, you just might be tuning in. About 90 minutes ago on social media, Micah Parsons took to his accounts and said, yeah, I want out. Get me out of here. Wants a trade. But it's Jerry Jones and the Cowboys we're talking about. So I'm not surprised, right? He usually signs, and he loves to have his stars, obviously. It took a long time for CeeDee Lamb, took a long time for Dak Prescott. But I was listening to Adam Shine earlier today on the way in, hosting right before us. Adam told the story. At the Super Bowl this past year, Micah went on his show on Sirius XM, and Micah told Adam Shine flat out, I want to get this taken care of right now. I want it to be cap-friendly because I want us to be able to go after more players that can make us compete for championships.
Yeah, kind of went against the advice of his agent.
Yes.
Because the agent said, wait, and it's going to work out for you. Let him sign Dak. Let him sign Lamb. Let's see what happens around the league. He goes, no, I want to be a Cowboy for life.
Right, and the agent knew that guys like Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, like these deals, T.J. Watt were probably going to come in. And then Parsons could be like, okay, I'm going to have to get at least what those guys got because I'm as good, if not better than all of them. And it's just a total debacle right now.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a key point, too. While they were in Abu Dhabi, he called Jones and requested a meeting, and then it turned into a contract discussion the next time they met. So they had the meeting. They thought they had it worked out, right, in terms. But since the meeting, Garrett 4 for 160, Crosby 3 for 106, Watt 3 for 123, and Watt's the highest non-paid quarterback at $41 million per season. Now he's doing shenanigans. Jones and the team refuses to engage with the owner. They're doing the go-around.
With the agent.
What did I say?
Yeah, with the owner.
Thank you. With the agent, and then that's where it gets personal and can get weird.
Sure.
And uncomfortable as he's talking, going mano a mano with Parsons, and now the big news today, and this is, it's a debacle. I mean, 30 years, you haven't made a title game. I drove by it. The stadium looks beautiful, but I don't blame the fans for just being fed up and saying enough's enough.
No, you know what I would do? Here's my advice to Jordan at all the Mama's Pizza spots there in the Metroplex, every other business. I think 10% of the audience might get this reference. What I would do is I would put on like a loop. Throw on Twisted Sister, the song We're Not Going to Take It Anymore. Listen to that song and call the Cowboys as a season ticket holder and say, if you trade this guy, I'm out. I'm done. Stop supporting the team. At some point, Jerry's going to have to learn here that he's a bad owner to sell the team or to not do stupid things like this. It's completely idiotic and unnecessary. And I hope they trade him. I hope he goes to a different team because this guy is a needle mover, man.
Yeah.
And I have the odds right in front of me, which we can get to, shop around for sure. They're completely different at DraftKings than they are offshore. But he's one of the best defensive players in the league. And there's a reason why, many reasons why. Maybe it is not one of them, but add it to the list of why the market has been moving on the Cowboys this year. Their win total has moved at several spots to 7.5.
Yeah. Oh, the 8.5 was juicy. No doubt. That's right. But look at the offseason they had. I mean, again, it's the Dallas Cowboys. He goes Schottenheimer. Right? And it was an awkward
joke.
Yeah, awkward press conference. Again, you can get just about anybody you wanted. And the one time he stepped out, he got Parcells, but that's it. And a guy, you couldn't share the room or the glory and the accolades with Jimmy. and had to let him go. Not to mention how long it took to put him in the Ring of Honor, the Cowboy Hall of Fame, whatever you call it.
Wouldn't you be fed up if you lived there?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been several years ago.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
Right.
Yeah.
And if this guy's a Hall of Fame talent, he dominates games. And he's been, the main reason why the defense has been a factor here going back since they drafted him out of Penn State. He fell to their lap in the draft. There's no way, no how Parsons should have lasted that long in the draft.
Well, this is what he does, though. He prefers to go one-on-one with the player. And he waits, and it usually backfires like he did with Dak, where they had to give him more money as well.
Yeah. So at DraftKings, and Julian Edlow just tweeted this stuff out. You can find it when you shop around a little bit here. They're including the Cowboys on the list. So they make the Cowboys a $3 favorite to be like the next team still. The Eagles are 10-1. The Patriots are 10-1. Chargers are 15. Cardinals, Niners 16. Rams 18. Panthers are 22-1. Jets 25 and the Raiders 25. Offshore, the Raiders are the short shot at 5-1. Like, who the hell knows how to make some of these numbers? These and by the way, you might be able to get down $6 on these bets. So it's just kind of interesting to talk about. Like the Raiders at DraftKings are 25-1, and at offshore they're 5-1. Pittsburgh 6-1, by the way. Globally speaking,
yeah.
But the Chargers are there at 7-1. The Packers are at 10-1. That is a move that if he really demands, not just requests a trade, demands get me out of here, I'm not coming back, and the Cowboys listen to him, it's a move the Packers should absolutely be on the phone with the Cowboys for, but they won't. This is not what they do. I think a Parsons to Green Bay, I think he's good enough to make a team like that a real Super Bowl contender. I really do.
Yep. You've already had a rough go of it, too. Cornerbacks out, guards out. You had some key injuries as well, and you think they're going to be any good anyways.
Right.
And maybe 8 wins was the best case as well. Why not blow it up? Why not? If this doesn't work out, why not trade Dak too?
Oh, well, I don't think Jerry wants to do that, but it's not who he is. Can you buy in now a little bit? Like if they were to trade this guy to Lou Finocchiaro 2 weeks ago, saying Cowboys worst team in the league, get on that number.
That's yeah. It's a big price, my friend.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
right,
sure. And there's nothing behind Dak either. So I don't care what happened week 18. If you're going to war with Joe Milton and not a lot of running game, and Pickens is going to lose his mind. That's going to happen too.
You would think.
I mean, come on. I'll give that 3 weeks. I'm not getting the ball, whatever. He'll right. So it could be hilarious.
Well, this could be. You're talking about some pretty big news here if he doesn't come back in that division, and also the other guy who wants out is Terry McLaurin, and the Jets opened 3-1 as the favorites. The Raiders opened up 6-1 to get him. This is, again, globally speaking.
Ooh.
The Raiders, now the short shot, 3-1 to get him. I would like that move. If the Raiders would make something like that happen, they'd have to give up a lot to get him probably and then sign him to a long-term deal. But to add him to the mix to Brock Bowers and Geno Smith and Pete Carroll and Brady, having some influence here now, obviously, as a minority owner with the organization as well. The Patriots are 4-1. That would be a big move for the Pats.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the Chargers are 6-1, but I'm seeing right before the show, Keenan Allen's going to meet with the Chargers about reuniting with them. I still think he's got something left in the tank, Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
But McLaurin would be a, huge minus to this team if they would not re-sign him and they say, yeah, okay, pal, you're not getting $27, $28 million a year. We're going to trade you.
Bills 25-1.
I love that.
So do I.
That would be dynamite.
Yes, it would.
He had 13 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
So, what'd you make of the game last night?
Well,
any takeaways?
Got the over, even though we had, the 5 turnovers certainly helped. But to me, the highlight was The Godfather. I thought he was phenomenal before the game, slipping in the point spread. Told everyone he had the Lions. I don't understand the Tirico stuff where it's, hey, you're going to get us in trouble here. As the NFL takes the FanDuel and all the DraftKings ads and nonstop, it's legal in a lot of states. We can stop. It's not 1982. But I can't believe how sharp he is. And
at 86
he's
years
still
old?
got his fastball.
Oh, yeah.
Go right in, tell the stories. Jimmy the Greek, meeting with Roselle. Can't mention the spread. Got to put get the chalkboard out with the intangibles and the check mark and everything. And it's great. I feel good for him, and I know, like Brian Musburger said, he's so happy for him, and also great that he's getting his flowers and recognition.
It's way overdue. We should have been in many, many, many years ago, but Here's one thing about Brent, too, is that when he was hosting the Sunday morning show during the football season a couple years ago, we would come in and sit in with him.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think he was 83, 84 years old. So I'm sitting here. He's doing the show where you're sitting from right now. I'm 5 feet from the guy. I'm watching him go like in and out of breaks and like bring in the guests.
Yeah.
At like 83, 84 years old, man, he was still like ultra smooth, like a total pro at that age.
Can't believe it.
Like, how the hell is that possible?
Yeah. I brought up the Will McDonough story. He was a tough Irishman. But when he punched that guy from the Patriots, and Brent went into the whole story.
Oh, he knows
about
everything.
getting-
The stories
He goes,
about
yeah.
I think
he said Will knocked him out.
like how many stadiums do you think Brent has been to, or arenas, whatever, across the country?
Oh, yeah.
Name them. He's probably been there, and like he's all because he did this for so long. Like, who's more connected than this guy?
Yeah.
He knows people from like every single local place in the entire country that'll feed him stories.
Yeah. The Maria Taylor story was awesome.
It was great.
Working with him. And I was it her grandma loved him? And she just passed
that's
away
right.
when they started to work together, and that was, good. I'll tell you, though, Lance looked good, and Hooker was awful. Right?
The Lions were not prepared for that
Oh,
game.
no, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think betting on Lance could be okay.
In the
Don't you?
preseason.
Yeah, preseason. So put up some good numbers. Our NFL guide's out. College guide comes out Tuesday. Best time to go pro with VSiN. Every team, every conference, every bet, win totals, ton of picks up there. Can't get enough of it. Drops Tuesday, and every best bet, every host, every guest. VSiN.com/subscribe. Join the team now. Get in $9.99 intro. The full year, save 50% off with the pro annual subscription. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Cubs shout out the Orioles 1-0, a game that just went final, and the Reds beat the Braves 3-2. Any tickets? Who had it? Joel Damon, first round leader, 150-1. I saw one ticket at 140. Unbelievable.
Solo leader.
Ooh. Incredible round. Just split with his caddy, I thought, too, if I read that right. What a story. And I thought it was going to land 34, like you said yesterday. Hall of Fame game, 32.5 up to 34. But then the touchdown on fourth down gets over there as well. CFL game, Ottawa plus 4.5 to minus 2.5. No sweat. That cashed. And the Braves plus 150. Are you kidding me? A 3-run lead for Abbott, and then a crucial error, and then it's 11-3. The Braves get 8 in the top, and the Reds tie it?
Yeah.
The Reds got 8 runs without an out being recorded.
16 runs combined in the same inning.
Yeah.
8 spot here, we'll match you.
Right. Oh,
So you went from, because you had them,
Yeah, the Reds.
You went from feeling awesome after Abbott, he gave up a couple there, but they had the lead, and then you're like, oh my God, 11-3, that's dead. You gave up on the game, and then wait a second, 11-11.
I couldn't believe it. Base hit, home run. Like base hit. All of a sudden it's tied. Like what? It's
Yeah.
tied. There's not even an out. Then they had a guy on second with 2 outs, and of course they lose in extra innings. Incredible. But it's just, you give Abbott a 3-run lead? Oh, that was ridiculous. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Interesting compilation here. Dogs afraid of cats. I'm shocked. I mean, just look at the sheer size. Oh no, the German Shepherd running away. It's like you're a lot bigger. It's no problem. But the intimidation factor. This
Oh,
guy's
my
trembling.
Lord.
Yeah, guy trembling in fear, right?
Well, cats are sneaky little devils, man.
Yeah, right.
I've never owned one. I'm okay with cats, but I don't want them in my house.
Yeah. A lot of these dogs freaked out. They run right away, and remember we showed the one with this guy running.
Skedaddles out of there.
Yeah. The best is when the guy's trying to walk down the steps and he won't do it because of the intimidation factor, right? It's like you're driving the lane against Mutombo. I mean, it's not that bad. There's a little altercation there. How about the dogs on a surfboard? How many we got here? See, you don't know if
10?
is it real? Looks real to me because they're not going fast. Yeah, you got like 10 dogs here on the surfboard coming up having a good time.
No human being.
Yeah, Luke says it's real too. Yeah, it looks good, right? Because I saw there was one where the French bulldog was hauling ass on the jet ski, and they were flying, but he had it the whole time, and it looked good. One lose some WNBA Mystics from 3 up to 5. Mike Palm with a great point today. How come that you said it? You heard it? How is this Golden State coach not the favorite for Coach of the Year?
I mean, I don't think you can trust the voters in that sport, but great point by him. I mean, I never would use the word lock, Paulie, but how would she not get your vote?
Yeah.
Right?
Went over the win total weeks ago. Could make the playoffs. Over 500. Interesting handicap tonight on a back-to-back. They play Chicago, who's been awful, but they're laying 6. Yeah, I'm with them. Before the line moves, Sharp Plays is already there. They don't follow the market. They help shape it. You're not going to outmuscle billion-dollar books or full-time sharps all by yourself. With the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights, straight to your inbox or X feed. He's been doing it since 2011. Been with Follow the Money since day one. The Mr. Poison t-shirts, documented results, public logs, transparent receipts, sharpplays.com. Trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit sharpplays.com. Stay ahead of the line.
Can we get into the Cam Scatterboo stuff right now?
Yes.
Okay. I asked this question earlier today on X, at Mitch Moss Radio. He's at Paulie Howard, at VSiN Live as well. Who is the longest shot in the NFL this year that you could see getting in the mix? Like we're talking late November, come Thanksgiving, maybe December, like, hey, this person has a chance to win this award. Who is the longest shot that you could see? And I got an incredible response, so thanks everybody for that. We're going to get into those a little bit later on. But I asked you to have somebody as well, and is he going to be the guy? Yeah,
because a friend of mine reached out yesterday, and he has a good source that's high up with the Giants. He asked him about Dart. Didn't even get into it. Went right to Scatterbo. Low center of gravity. Hard to tackle. The talk of camp. They tell him to be careful because he wants to run through and run over everybody.
I can see all that going back to last year, yep.
Catches the ball out of the backfield. Going to be on the field a lot. Maybe some special teams. Singletary could be a cap casualty. Could be the starter by week 4. From a prop standpoint, goal line carries, touchdowns. Let's see. 80-1. Offensive Rookie of the Year at Westgate and Circa. 75-1. Will Hill and Caesars. Ran it down. It's a great source. He was right. The source was right about Neighbors. Well, hey, watch out. This kid's a real deal. He's saying that Scatterbo's been the talk of camp.
So here's their running back room. Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, Scatterboo, Eric Gray. He can't win that on day one. I think that he can be the week 1 starter.
Yeah.
I think his game from college translates to the NFL. He was an absolute steamroller. Now, again, he probably needs to stop that because it is a different level we're talking about here. But he was a great pass catcher. I'm telling you right now, like if he had one more, you can say this about a lot of guys, I get that. If he had one more year left of eligibility at Arizona State, they could win the whole thing. Or they'd be a playoff team again for sure. I'm convinced of that.
Well, it's kind of like Derrick Henry, although they don't do it. Imagine the design screens for this guy.
I know it.
And you got to tackle this kid if you got some blockers out in front of him.
So I've had my eyes on him anyway. I did bet him a little bit at 80-1. Let me give you this. And boy, I probably have too many subscriptions, but one of them, Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life, is very good. That's where Guillotine Leagues is at now. Our buddy Paul Charchian. But they had some stuff today on the 49ers. So it goes back to Juwan Jennings, right? He's supposed to be, for various reasons. I mean, no more Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk, I'll get into that coming up in a second. But off the injury, everybody's expecting big things for Juwan Jennings this year. Calf injury. This goes back to Wednesday, I believe. Kyle Shanahan said there is no expected return date yet for him. Not great news. Final year of his contract. Very vocal about wanting a new contract. And they don't think the injury is going to be long-term. It's an injury that fantasy drafters, will have to keep a close watch on. Keep in mind, Brandon Ayuk, he could be ready for week 1, but there's no timeline for his return that has not been given either. So, reading stories today on Ricky Pearsall. This is from Matt Barrows of the New York Times. Pearsall seemed noticeably bulked up during his media appearance Thursday and said he made beating tight physical coverage a priority this offseason. Quote, there's a lot of one-on-one opportunities out there, and you've got to win your matchups. That was my biggest takeaway going into the offseason. Pearsall closed last year with 8 catches on 10 targets, 141 yards and a touchdown in that game against Detroit. He had 6 catches on 8 targets for 69 yards and a touchdown against Arizona. Again, I'm not telling you that you have to bet this guy. He's going to win the award. But I could see a scenario where he turns into the alpha in this offense. Shanahan, awesome offensive coach. Purdy's going to put up numbers. Their schedule, that's why people love this team this year. The schedule is doable. I'm just saying, like Pearsall, middle of November, here comes December, flipping the calendar. Hey, this guy, offensive player of the year. Maybe there's an inkling to that. Maybe he's like right at or near the top of the league in these key categories, like touchdowns as a receiver, targets, the whole thing. I took him today. I asked Jeffrey Benson here at Circa. They didn't have him posted. I said, can you do me a favor and post him? And if the number was right, they put up 400 to 1. So I felt obligated to bet 400 to 1 on Ricky Pearsall.
All right.
All right. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, sure.
Making a case for these guys, long shots that, again, it would take an absolute miracle for him to get there. But there's a chance where I think he can have, and this is probably more for fantasy, circle him. I'm absolutely going to, target that guy in almost every one of my leagues. So, but of the feedback that we got today, that I got on Twitter, Will Hill said Pickens 200 to 1 offensive player of the year. Nick Chubb was a common response for comeback player of the year. I should probably add him.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the concerns now coming out of, early camp here with Mixon.
Going to be hard to overcome, I guess. Yeah, I can't believe Dak's that short, but Hutchinson, if Hutchinson has a big year.
Yeah.
Plus McCaffrey, but Chubb was that's devastation. What he'd be coming back from.
For sure.
How ugly that was.
It's a really good list of candidates on there. I wonder if Hutchinson could win Defensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year if he's that good. And McCaffrey, if he puts it together, obviously, and plays the entire season, is definitely going to be.
Have you thought more on McCarthy? Like what Thor said? It's so bizarre. I mean, he's never played. He hasn't played a game. How will you come back?
Yeah.
Okay, you were hurt,
get it,
but you haven't. Yeah, you haven't played a game. I think I've seen him as low as plus 750.
Have you really?
Yeah. Come on.
I am not there yet, but
no.
He made an interesting,
yeah, he did.
Case earlier in the week. All right, the meat man Steve Wiss makes his return to the show as soccer is back this weekend. Can Wrexham do it again? We have League One and League Two, and his best bets for the weekend and futures coming up here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Soccer returned today, this weekend. A lot of games, a lot of matches, and here we go. Steve Wiss joins the program. He was on every week a year ago during the soccer season. You can follow him on X. He is at Meatman Soccer. He is with the Nordic Football Podcast, and also Because We Win. You can listen to him there as well. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Steve, thanks for the time as always. How are you, pal?
Hey, guys. Yeah, doing okay. I just can't believe that the new soccer season's here already. It feels like it's hardly been enough time, but here we go again. I'm watching Luton Town right now, and ready for another season of the mainstream soccer in Europe.
Yeah, it feels like the off season in soccer is so short; it's ridiculous. But here we are, like you said. Let's begin with the Championship League, and how do you want to attack that specific league from a future standpoint?
Well, this league starts next week, and there's a lot of interest in it because the amount of money now in the Championship is a lot. I mean, for example, Norwich City, who weren't even a relegated team in the last 2 years, they've spent over £20 million. So you get a lot of money now in this league, a lot more interest. The big stat you've got to mention, in the last 5 years, roughly half the teams that got relegated from the Premier League make an instant return to the Premier League. So there's a big advantage for the three teams that came down, Ipswich Town, Southampton and Leicester City. Big problem for Leicester City. They're probably going to get docked about 9 points for bad finances over the last few years, and they've not signed anyone yet. Ipswich Town are popular as a bet, but for me, Southampton will win the Championship this season. And there's two main reasons for it. Again, coming down from the Premier League is a big advantage for them. They were terrible last year, but they've signed a brilliant new manager called Will Still. He's a 32-year-old English/Belgian coach. And this guy's managed in the top flight in France and mightily impressed. I think, in time, he could be one of the best managers in the world in a few years' time. He's come back over to England partly due to personal reasons, because his partner has been recovering from surgery and stuff. He wanted to be closer to home. This is a really good pickup for Southampton. He's brilliant tactically. He's brilliant as a motivation sort of guy, and he's also going to make player connections in terms of the signings. He's a proven manager. He's not proven in the Championship or in England, but I think it's a massive price here, plus 500. They're going under the radar. No one's talking about them because they were so bad last season.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Very good breakdown. How about Tom Brady's club? Birmingham City ran away with League One last year. They win the league. They get promoted. What does Birmingham City do? They're like 8 to 9-1, 8 or 9 to 1 in that range to win the league. You want to attack it a different way.
Well, I certainly wouldn't put off anyone backing them to win the league around about 9 to 1. And if you could get double-digit odds, then absolutely take a nibble, because this is a club that has huge ambitions. They are well backed by the Knighthood Capital Group. Tom Brady actually owns 3.3% of the club, but he's a big figurehead at Birmingham City now. The fans love him, and you've got to remember how well they did in League One last year. They didn't just win League One, but like you said, Paulie, 111 points for Birmingham City, 34 wins out of 46. Okay, they're now stepping up to the next level. But this is a team that have got a lot of money. Their signings, although they've only spent about £10 million, they brought in a lot of really good free transfers, players on a free who they can afford to give big contracts to. Example like Tommy Doyle's of this world. They have spent nearly £10 million on a player called Kyoki Furuhashi from Rennes in France. So they're not lacking a few quid, as we would say over here. I think the best bet with Birmingham is just to be in the market, to be promoted at plus 300. So they can finish in the top two, you'll win your bet. But also, if they win the playoffs, you can win that bet. And that could be, I could see them winning the playoffs. They might be a team that takes a little bit of time to get used to the Championship. But I think they'll be really strong after Christmas. They've got money to spend in the January transfer window. And also, incredibly, there's going to be even bigger storylines other than them in the league, and that's going to suit them. They could actually go under the radar incredibly.
Mm-hmm. Excellent points. And to your point, though, so back-to-back-to-back years, Wrexham has been promoted. Wrexham is this close now, one step away, Ryan Reynolds, to go into the Premier League. We love the story. You like the story. I know you mentioned other people over there don't like it because the Hollywood factor, what have you. What do you think of Wrexham? I've seen 7 to 1 to get promoted. What can Wrexham do?
This is the sort of price, the sort of odds that could look massive at the end of the season. My gut feeling is not to get involved with Wrexham yet, though. I think you've got to keep an eye on them. If they are in contention at the halfway stage of the season, then they may well dip into that January transfer market. Again, they're really well backed. They've got, Ryan Reynolds is obviously in charge there behind the scenes, and he's put in place a really good structure. He's got the right personnel. Off the field is just as important as on the field. It might take them a little bit of time to get used to the Championship, though, and that's my concern. And the amount of, it literally is Hollywood, isn't it? Right next to them, and some of these players, the pressure on them is going to be immense. It might be too much music, as we say here. That's why I wouldn't bet on them personally right now to be promoted or to win the league. But I think they're a fantastic case to watch. Everyone's going to be keeping a close eye on them. If they start well, there might be a time you've got to bet on them. They've spent some money, nearly £10 million. It's going to be interesting to see. Connor Cody, I think, is a really good experienced centre-back for them as well, and he can go really well. I think I'm optimistic about them. I certainly think they'll be top 10, and I think they could well be in the top 8. I don't know about promotion yet, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Follow the Money, Paulie and Mitch Visa and the Sports Betting Network, talking soccer with our guy, Steve Wiss, the Meat Man at Meatman Soccer on X, Because We Win Pod, and the Nordic Soccer Pod as well. Southampton to win, Birmingham City promotion. How about relegation at a juicy price? Take it away.
Well, I'll tell you one team who will get relegated, and that's likely to be Sheffield Wednesday, but their odds are something like minus 300. They're on a transfer embargo off the field. They're in a real mess. So I think that's one relegation place that will be, of the three of them, Sheffield Wednesday. But I like Blackburn as well. Blackburn here at plus 500. I've actually bet on them to be relegated all the last 3 years. So I'm a bit of a sucker for this one, but I hate the way that this club is run. The owners are called the Venky's Group, and there used to be like a song about them. Actually, goes along the lines. Do you remember the Venga Boys over here? It was a Euro dance sort of group. You probably never heard of them, but there was an interesting sort of song. But anyway, terribly run. The fans hate them. Last year they were doing really well, and they lost their manager John Eustace to Derby. He actually left the club, and I just think that's alarm bells. You know, why would you leave a club when you're doing well to a team that's actually struggling against relegation? He actually kept Derby up in the end. But for me, Blackburn, at some point, they are like something's going to explode here in the wrong way. And the sort of club who could probably sack about 3 managers in a year, you know what I mean, and go down. So at plus 500, I cannot help myself here. I thought they'd be like plus 250, plus 300. Like I said, Sheffield Wednesday probably are going to fill one of the 3 spots, but there's still 2 of the teams that will be getting relegated. I'm not sure about the manager, Valerian Ismail. He was at Watford once. He got sacked there in pretty quick time. He likes to play possession football. That doesn't always work in the Championship. So Blackburn Rovers, for me, look the best value team in terms of the relegation market.
Okay, very good. So you're also going to hang around for one more segment. We'll get into League One and League Two coming up in about 5-6 minutes here. How about matches that you like this weekend, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, the matches that I like this weekend in League One, we'll talk about that in a minute, but I think Stockport to beat Bolton looks a really good bet at minus 105. It's actually on Sunday, 12 p.m. local time kickoff. 2 teams in the same region. It's a bit of a derby game, as we call it over here. So the fans are going to be bang up for this. Stockport were mightily unlucky last year. They finished 3rd on 87 points. The mighty Birmingham and Wrexham obviously finished above them. So they're actually a really good team. And any normal year, they would have got promoted to the Championship. So this is a really strong squad. Home record impressed me. 16 wins out of 23. That is the key stat. We're getting minus 105 here on them just winning at home again against a Bolton team who were mid-table last year. They have spent a little bit of money, and I think they'll improve to maybe the top 6 or 7. But this is one of those where Stockport, a lot of people might not think of them as a big name in this league, but they are actually genuine runner in League One. Minus 105, that's too big for a strong home team.
Excellent. How about the one play in League Two? 60 seconds.
Yeah, I've got to go with Chesterfield here. Another team had finished so strongly last season and then lost in the playoffs. But they only lost 3 matches at home in the previous campaign. This sort of stadium, I've seen the fans get right on top of the players before and give them an extra boost. I never want to be against Chesterfield when they're at home. Against a Barrow team, every year, everyone seems to tip Barrow to go down. They're a small club from the northwest of England, and we know they're probably going to be in the bottom 6. They always have a long, long way to travel when they're on the road. They lost nearly half of their road games last year. So at minus 150, it's got to be Chesterfield on the money line here to rack up an opening day win. Looking at a team that's probably going to finish in the playoffs against a team that's going to be fighting relegation.
Very good. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You can follow Steve on X. He is at Beatman Soccer, again, Nordic Football Podcast. And because we win, coming up, he'll give you outright winners in League One and League Two, teams that get relegated. And also, how about this? Top league goal scorer. He likes a 33-1 shot this year. Find out who it is next on VSiN.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in. Live on a Friday, downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, your spot. Busy hour coming up. We'll expand on the baseball card coming up in 15 minutes. Bottom of the hour, we're going to get an odds maker's perspective on the deadline yesterday in baseball. Chris Bennett, dynamite on this sport. He'll join the show. What did he adjust? How has he adapted to the numbers and with the numbers after the news that came out yesterday, obviously, with all those trades? And here, We begin the hour with more baseball as Matt Vasgersian joins the program, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Matt, as always, thanks for the time. Pleasure talking to you. What did you love yesterday?
You know what I loved is that two teams really clearly said, we're not going to win this year, and we're going to make ourselves more nimble. So I tip my cap to the Twins, even though Minnesota fans have got to be hacked off at the sell-off, and the Diamondbacks. It's really hard to look yourself in the mirror as an organization and say, it's not happening. Let's get rid of some payroll. And for Minnesota to have found a buyer on the $200 million left on Carlos Correa that's something that I respect a lot. As far as teams that help themselves, I mean, what did A.J. Preller? He dealt 22 players yesterday. It's unbelievable how this guy can't sit still at the trade deadline. He loves wheeling and dealing. And the Padres did a lot. I think the Mets and Phillies made themselves even better. And the Yankees fixed their bullpen problem. I was really surprised at the Jose Caballero acquisition. I mean, they have lost – I think they've completely lost confidence in Anthony Volpe. And anecdotally, I've heard that. You can see it. The errors have become a big problem, and they're not going to wait around. They went and got a serviceable shortstop that can play tomorrow if they want him to.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Looking at tonight's card. Now, this is interesting because Carlos Correa going to make his return here. What do you want to do with this game that he's involved in?
Boy, it's fascinating. This is a great game to watch. They got him right back out there batting fourth. If someone were to tell you that Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and Alex Bregman would both be on the same field on this day in August of 2025, you'd wonder what the circumstance was. Mm-hmm. And here they are head-to-head lined up against each other. Cooper Criswell's on the mound for the Red Sox tonight. He's back up from AAA. He throws his changeup a lot, and he throws it a lot to right-handers, which is unusual for a young right-handed pitcher. Carlos Correa has a slug against a right-handed changeup of 545, expected slug even higher. So if you like the narrative of Carlos Correa rejoining the Astros and doing some damage in this potential postseason matchup preview, the numbers kind of back that up. He could be fun to watch tonight.
How about, I'm looking at this, it looks too easy. It's been a weird last couple of days in baseball. How did the Phillies not light up Flaherty?
Oh, gosh, I've asked myself that same question, Paulie. I mean, you look at Flaherty's numbers. He's been splits neutral his whole career. But this year, for whatever reason, his four-seamer and his slider have been hit really hard. And the Phillies have a couple of left-handed batters who excel against right-handed four-seam and splits. And there are two guys that bat at the bottom of the order in Bryson Stott, who's hitting ninth tonight, and Max Kepler, who I think's in there batting seventh. But beyond just the matchup-y stuff, Flaherty's numbers on the road have been really bad this year. His numbers at night have been bad this year, and he's never pitched in Philly. And that place is like a lion's den. Mm-hmm. And coming out of the deadline where they were active and that fan base is activated and half nuts and half drunk many nights, that's going to be a tough place for Jack Flaherty tonight. 4.5 is a team total for the Phillies, 2.5 through 5. Those are pretty interesting numbers out there tonight.
God, I love the deep dives from you so much. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Matt Vasgersian, our guest here on the Progressive Guest Line, of course, MLB Network. The Royals and the Blue Jays tonight. It's Michael Wacha taking on Kevin Gausman. Let me give you a number here. Opposing pitchers, Matt, are 23-2-1 under their K prop in the last 26 games when they faced the Blue Jays in Toronto. Tonight, Wacha 3.5 plus money to the under.
Yeah, that speaks pretty loudly. I mean, this is how Toronto's made themselves good, right? There was an article in the Wall Street Journal, of all places. Like, when a team slugs and doesn't strike out and it makes the Wall Street Journal, everybody's paying attention. That's like a pedestrian story being featured on the Today Show. Now, all of a sudden, everybody knows. And that's the case with the Blue Jays. That under is really appealing, I think, for a lot of people. And I'll give you a batter pitcher matchup there that I can't believe. Ty France is going to make his Toronto debut tonight. He left Minnesota 7 for his last 20, so he was as hot as he's been all year. his numbers against Ty France, 12 for 25 with damage, OPS of almost 1,300, which is interesting. And then, so when you see something like that, the temptation is just to act on it. I think you have to go back and look at how recent that stretch is, right? Because you could do the same thing against Flaherty with a couple of Philly hitters. Like Nick Castellanos has good numbers against him, but he hasn't faced him since 2021. Schwarber, good numbers against him, hasn't faced him since 2021 when he was a national, and we barely remember him as a national. It's recent with Ty France against Michael Wacha. So, I mean, you could find a market where Ty France gets a base hit. I'm sure you have to pay a pretty big tax on that because one base hit feels very reasonable for him tonight.
Okay. I want to ask the question here. My God, I mean, there's a fishy number like every single night in Major League Baseball. The Guardians at home with Williams going against Ryan and the Twins. The Guardians are like, they were $1.17 earlier today. The Twins are trotting out a double-A lineup.
Yeah, traded 11 guys. Yeah.
Moving forward, right?
Yeah.
So is it just Joe Ryan's going to go there and go 8 strong, strike out 10, and he's going to give up nothing, and that's how the Twins win the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what they're going to have to do. It's funny you mentioned that, Mitch, because I pulled up that lineup about 5 minutes ago. Austin Martin leading off, Alan Roden hitting second. I mean, if you're asking yourself who, as a listener right now, you're not alone. They dealt the whole cupboard away. So to me, that just, from a playing standpoint, from a gaming standpoint, it just screams stay away because you just don't know. There's variance there. Like some of these kids that come up, Alan Roden could go 4 for 4 tonight. Those are massive trap games, I think, and I'd stay as far away as possible.
Okay. One future question. In light of what happened yesterday, how well they're playing, and the numbers come down, what do you think of the Padres 8-1 to win the division?
It's so tempting, right? Because we all buy into the fact that they have this super bullpen now with, Mike Schilt talked about his 4 horsemen, these 4 relievers that he had that were having, all-star seasons. Now it's 6. I mean, they got the big donkey from the A's. My God, they're unbelievable. He's going to start next year, by the way, they're talking about Mason Miller.
Do you buy into that?
I buy into him starting because the A's had that same quandary with him. They kicked the tires on him as a starter too before unleashing him as the 106 mile an hour closer. If you can get 18 pitches and 10 of them are over 100 miles an hour in the 9th inning, you're pretty good. The problem is there wasn't much to save for the A's. There is with the Padres, so they're not going to make that conversion till next year. I think a lot of people are going to be involved and interested in the Padres as a dog. But man, the Dodgers are still so doggone good. And I know they didn't do much yesterday, but I mean, they're in Tampa tonight against Shane Baz, who's been struggling. There's another makeable 4.5 team over, by the way, because the ball flies around down there and the Dodgers haven't been down there to enjoy it yet. I still like the Dodgers to win the division. I don't know if I could back anybody else really.
Okay. Where are you at with the Mariners overall? And that division, by the way. I'm guessing that you liked what the Rangers did on top of that, Eddie Merrill Kelly?
Yeah, I think that was maybe the sneaky best ad of the whole trade season if you were to ask me about one guy. And yes, the Mariners got the power that they've coveted. They got a right-handed slugger. They got a left-handed slugger. Both corners are taken now with power. But if you look at the numbers that Eugenio Suarez posted when he was in Seattle, and there's plenty of sample there, his homers per at-bat, it's over 21. His homers per at-bat in Cincinnati and in Arizona were in the mid-teens, 14 and 17, I think. So, look, the ballpark factors are real in Seattle. And if you're looking for Naylor and Suarez to go up there and hit homers for the next 2 months, they'll hit some homers, but then I think you have to kind of temper your expectations. And for those reasons, I still like the Rangers and the Astros. I mean, I love the Mariners. They addressed what they needed, but Texas is going to go on a run, and Houston made themselves so much better. For Houston, not to have added another left-handed bat, they got Jesus Sanchez from the Marlins. That was nice. But I think Stephen Kwan, Jarren Duran, I mean, there were guys out there that I was shocked that they didn't come up with because they've had 500 plate appearances from left-handed batters this year. And Victor Caratini, as a switch-hitting catcher, has had like 300 of them.
That's crazy.
I just can't believe they didn't fix that. Yeah.
That's absolutely wild. Hey, in like 45 seconds, as a diehard baseball guy, do you like this? I mean, all this parity at the deadline, like 10 teams are like, screw it, we're this close, we're going to go for it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's good. I mean, I don't think it'd be fun if you were living in Minnesota as a Twins fan or living in Phoenix as a Diamondbacks fan. That would stink. And as a fan, I've endured that with growing up in Oakland for many years. But for the other cities, it's good. It makes everything relevant. The Yankees fixed their bullpen. By the way, Carlos Rodon tonight, punch-out number at 5.5. And the Marlins don't strike out that much. I want to look at that lineup and see who's playing. 5.5 feels like a pretty easy number for Rodon tonight.
Dynamite. You're the best.
Yes.
Thank you. Enjoy the weekend, okay?
Okay, guys. See ya.
Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network here on the Progressive Guest Line. A lot of great stuff there from Matt. Stuff on France, Flaherty, Carrera.
Always good. Dodgers have lost 14 of 21. I think it's still worth a look, though.
Yeah. And are you ready for this? Starting pitchers have gone over their K-prop. 15 straight games against this team when they're on the road. We'll give you the details on that next.